Hey y'all, I am back. Oh my gosh, the lighting is so bad. I need to do something about this because it looks terrible. It looks freaking terrible. Guys, welcome to my channel. For those of y'all who have not been here before, my name is Mariah Sincere. I am the Passport Sis, coming at y'all live from the wonderful city of Medellin, Colombia. I am so glad to be back. And I can't wait to talk about it. I'm waiting on some of y'all to get up in here. First of all, let me make sure that I put this live on the right YouTube channel because I'm known for doing stupid stuff. Let me make sure. I know it's been a minute, y'all. I'm gonna have to start. Yeah, it's on the right channel. I'm gonna have to start coming to y'all live at nighttime. Okay. Uh. Okay, and I can hear me perfect. Um, guys, I am so happy to be back from Colombia, from the United States. When I tell y'all, like I would say 5% of the time I was having a good time in the United States, and the rest of the time it was just not fun. It was terrible. And I can't wait to tell y'all about it. Again, I'm back in Colombia. I was in the United States for 2 months. During that time, Christmas came and went. My sister had a baby. I went to a few family get-togethers, but honestly and truly, like when you go from living in a country where you spend everything in pesos and then you go back to the United States, you will like gasp. Like, I cannot believe that y'all are over there paying what y'all are paying. Like, what you will spend in one day on food or groceries in the United States will last you at least a week in Colombia. And that is if you are buying all the imported foods or just shopping super extravagantly, right? But it ain't what that is, y'all. It ain't what that is. My family lives in Texas. So being in Texas with no car and taking Ubers, the price of a Uber is crazy. No, I did not. I ain't enjoying myself. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. So I'm waiting on y'all to get on in. If you're just now coming in, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, go ahead and subscribe. A lot of things happened. A lot of things have happened since I have been gone. I saw that pretty much all of Trump's appointees got appointed. Hey, what up, Binky? I see you returning back. Y'all check out my girl Binky Bianca. She does social commentary, celebrity gossip type content. Um, is that you're still gonna be doing that, right, Binky? She has a really good channel. Y'all make sure that y'all check her out. Yeah, guys. So I'm gonna have to start coming on at night, like around this time. And the reason being is because I was trying to do it during the middle of the day, but I be having too much going on. Like my daughter, I homeschool my daughter, I go to the gym, I cook and clean, like I cook all my meals at home. So that's a lot. Okay. My daughter does her activities. Like she was doing soccer. Now she's about to start gymnastics. Tomorrow in the middle of the day, I have a Spanish class I have to go teach. And on top of that, like I work in the middle of the night teaching English. So I be having a lot going on. So this is the time my daughter's asleep. This is the time where everything is winding down. So y'all will see me around this time. Okay, yeah, of course, sis. Of course, we'll be over there. Hopefully, you do some lives, and things of that nature. Yeah, we'll definitely pull up. But yeah. So guys, y'all look for me around this time. Girl, I'm too busy. I be trying to make it all work, but I said, bump it. I don't care if I gotta come on here looking like this and some sweats. Like y'all gonna see me. Like I'm gonna be consistent in my channel. Okay. Period. So I'm back. Y'all don't gotta worry about that smoke detector. That smoke detector was sending y'all. Y'all, that was not my house. That was not my house, and I didn't know how to install the batteries over there. So Thank you, girl. You're too kind. Hey, Cha Cha, what's up? Okay, all my girls are in here. Y'all hit the like button. That helps people know I'm on live, please. Yeah, them smoke detectors was sending y'all. Y'all was firing me up every chance that y'all got. I even went on 3Gs. They was roasting the hell out of me. I knew they hated to see me coming during that time. Okay. But I don't give a damn. First of all, y'all act like some of y'all be acting too bougie for me. Like y'all act like y'all mama didn't have that smoke detector going off in the apartment when you grew up. Like, stop playing. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm glad you came too, Cha Cha. The only reason why y'all don't hear a smoke detector right now is because in Colombia, they don't have the same laws. They don't believe in smoke detectors over here. They very much move in the spirit of fuck it over here. Okay. There's no smoke detectors. There's no carbon monoxide detectors. Okay. That they believe in security over security. So, for example, if I go outside of my door right now, it automatically locks behind me. If I walk out of my door with no key, the way that lock is set up, it automatically locks behind me. If I go downstairs, I need a key to get out the front gate because it has bars. Like, they do not play about their security. They will lock themselves in and die in a fire or something, unalive themselves in a fire or something before they give somebody the chance to run up in their apartment. Okay. Girl, yeah, that thing, it was beeping, girl. It was beeping so loud. I was trying to pretend like I ain't hear. But honestly and truly, I after a while you don't hear it, especially if you stay there. Like, I was staying there during that time. Um, they said good luck, pay attention your damn self. Exactly. Like, they don't do all those regulations. And I hate to say it that way because the infrastructure in this city is really nice. Like, the area that I live in is really secure, but in terms of the codes for the apartments, it's just really different over here. So, but I'm telling y'all, I'm glad to be back. I'm not gonna lie, before I went back to the United States, I think Colombia had started to grow on me a little bit. And I will say my first 6 months in Colombia, I don't think I took advantage of it in the way that I should have because I was in the house too much. So I was focused on work, work, work all the time. I would be tired after that. I would go to the gym and then I would come back home and like sleep or homeschool my daughter. But I didn't do enough socializing. Because of that, um, I don't feel like I built connections that I needed to. Like, even with dating, I'm funny acting. Yeah. I'm a Gemini. Like, if I don't get my way about certain things, I'd be ready to move on. But it's honestly and truly not fun being in a a new city and you're not dating at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not fun. I hope you and your daughter are doing well. Thank you. No, we're doing really well. We are doing really well. So, like, I had a friend, I guess I should say I have a friend, but I had a friend who, like, right before I came back to the United States, I quit talking to them. I'm like, and then I had other friends who were trying to build relationships with me, other people who were trying to do things with me, but I was always like, no, I'm busy. I got to do this. I got to do XYZ. And I feel like I kind of lost the plot as to why I came here. So even when I was on the streets, my idea of when I came to Colombia was that I was going to be doing TikToks and filming content and showing people how it really is in Colombia. But instead, I kind of got stuck in the house. Now, what I will say is last year I was way more consistent in my YouTube channel, and I do plan on keeping that same consistency, but it was at the expense of me going and living life during the day. I just had my live set at the wrong time, if that makes sense. Um so this time around, I'm being very intentional about when I do things and how I spend my time, in terms of connecting with other people who want to connect with me, in terms of making plans throughout the week to go out and about in the city with me and my daughter, or to go out with friends. I feel like I've only been back for, I want to say, what? It's been over a week now, and I feel like during this whole past week, I feel like I went out more than what I did the last 2 months that I was here in Colombia. And I don't want to let this time go to waste. But let me tell y'all, it's ghetto in the United States. And I feel like being back there helped put everything in perspective. Like, why are eggs why are eggs 18 for $8? Y'all, I got a whole carton of eggs from the grocery store yesterday in Colombia. There's like, what is that? Is it 24 eggs? It might be more than that. Okay. And they're actual real eggs with the orange yolk, a vibrant yolk. Like, and I spent $2.50. That big old thing of eggs is gonna last me at least through the week. Great lesson to take from it, and it's dope that you have a plan of action. Yeah, like I'm not letting this time go to waste, y'all. I'm like, why is the food so high? Why is the food so expensive? And when I was in the United States, I wasn't even eating all that bad, to be honest. I was trying to watch what I ate, but there are so many chemicals in the food that even if you try to eat healthy, it's gonna do something to you. You're gonna at least be bloated. You're going to at least have some type of inflammation even if you're trying to eat right. Like I've spent this whole last week having to de-bloat from the food in the United States. But it's good. That's the thing, it's good. I ain't gonna hold you. The food in the United States tastes way better in terms of how we season the food and how we put things together. American people cook better than Colombians. Hands down, we cook better than them. But the quality of the ingredients that we have to work with is already it's poison. The price of eggs here in the States seems like it's getting done on purpose. Yes, it is, because they culled thousands of eggs because of some type of bird flu. They not doing stuff like that over here in Colombia. In Colombia, you walk down the street in the shops, they got the chickens laying the eggs in the back of the shop. You got places where the only thing they sell is eggs, and you can find eggs on any street. They are ready in abundance. There's no shortage of eggs over here. Ain't nobody over here thinking about no bird flu. Yeah, they intentionally culled the chickens. Now, I don't know if the whole bird flu thing was true or not. You always have to kind of second guess what's going on with the government. And y'all got to understand, these birds were culled right before Joe Biden left office. And it was all due to some type, them trying to prevent a bird flu outbreak. But my whole thing is, why are we one of the only countries that stuff like this consistently happens in? I was talking to my homegirl, and she was saying, like, it seems like every couple of months, there's always something that happens in the United States that puts people in crisis mode to where they have to go out and spend a large amount of money. There's always some type of shortage. There's always something that puts a strain on the households. And it does seem to be intentional at this point. I'm about to start raising a few chickens myself at this point, child. Yeah, you should. I have a friend who she lives in DeSoto, Texas. And she has her hens, and they lay so many eggs that she gives cartons of eggs away. Side note, I wonder how those chickens get pregnant and lay those eggs. I probably sound ignorant right now, but I really don't know, because I ain't never seen no chickens goose. Okay, anyway. Because I'm like, why are your chickens laying so many eggs? How are they getting pregnant? Okay. Anyway. But yeah, I'm excited to be back. Another thing that I realized, y'all, is people put too much blame on the government for certain things in the United States. I will say this: there are things that our government does that greatly reduces the quality of life. After living in a city like Medellin, which is walkable, and by walkable I mean, I can, if I get sick right now, I can go downstairs, I can walk two doors down, and there's a pharmacy with everything that I need, and I don't need a prescription to get anything. I don't have to go to the doctor first. If I feel like I need some antibiotics, they're gonna give me some antibiotics. Okay. Across the street is a bodega. So if I don't have anything to drink in my house and I want to walk right across the street and get a beer, a wine, some tea, some coffee, whatever I want, I can do that. Okay. There's a smoke shop 2 doors down. Right across the street from there is a place where I can get some empanadas and buñuelos. If I turn the corner from my apartment building, there's a beauty supply store. So if I need to go get me some strip lashes because I can't get mine filled, they're right there. Anything I need for my hair is right there. And guess what? Everything I just named, there's one of those on every street. There's one of those on every corner. Okay, my gym is a 5-minute walk from my apartment, and that's only because I choose to walk that far. Literally, right around the corner, there's a gym by the same company. I just like the one over there in the park. So when you get used to living somewhere that is walkable and convenient, it is hard to go back to the United States and live somewhere where there's that southern infrastructure, if you know what I mean. This doesn't so much apply to people that like live somewhere like New York, but that's super expensive. But if you live in a place like Florida or Texas, you need a car, and that is very detrimental to our health, especially if where you need to get to is far. And because of the zoning laws in the United States, you will never see, like in Texas, you will never see an apartment building sitting above a bodega or a bar. You're just not going to see that. Versus in Colombia, you will see a bar and people have an apartment right on top of that. And then next door, there's a tire shop, and people get used to each other's noise. That's just how it is. And because of that, there's not as much solitude. People know their neighbors. The elderly people have somebody to check on them. That's another problem in the United States. The elderly people are, being unalived alone in nursing homes. Nobody checks on them. People decline at a faster rate. I've talked to so many Colombians who tell me I have family members who moved to the United States and now they have mental issues. It should be that way in the States, but our government has nefarious intentions with these 15-minute cities that have been talked about a lot lately. What are 15-minute cities? What are those? Tell me, explain. Hey, Sheba, baby. Hey, girl. Glad to see you back on live. Yes, good to see you, sis. Yeah, as I was telling everybody else, I had been in the United States for 2 months, and I guess I could have went live more there, but I was staying at my mom's house with her and her boyfriend, and it seemed like every single smoke detector was out. And they live in a big house, so the ceilings were high. It was just hard to change out. So I didn't like going live. Like I don't know how to explain it, but because going live requires a bit of a setup, it's uncomfortable going live in places that you're not settled down in. Like it's uncomfortable going live somewhere that is not your house. That sounds like fun, having a real community. Yes. 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 Okay. Like it does. Like people say, like the when they see you, they're like, hola vecina, buenos dias, vecina. Vecina means neighbor. Like they is hey neighbor. Like that's how they talk to you here. When people see you, they're happy to see you. Like they're like, "Hola, buenos dias, hola reina, hola." Like they'll say something sweet to you, mi corazón. Like they just be talking to you so sweet. They give hugs, they give kisses on the cheek. You know, a 15-minute city is an urban planning model that aims to make daily necessities within walking, biking, or public transit distance of any city resident. I wonder where they are choosing to put these cities. If they could do that, that would be great. The culture is going to have to learn how to adapt, because that's one thing I noticed. When you live in Colombia, people are so warm here in Medellin. They're so friendly. They're so full of life that when you go back to the United States, it feels like it's the walking unalive, y'all. It's the like you it, you see it seems like people are just waiting on the good Lord to come take them. People be walking around with bad attitudes. They don't speak. They're closed off. And honestly, when you come from this environment back to that, it feels very uncomfortable. It's kind of difficult not to take it personally, honestly and truly. Like you be like, dang, oh, rude. Like that's how you be feeling. What you are describing about homes onto of bodegas, it's like that in NYC. Yeah. Yeah, but guess what? Sis, I'm not paying $5,000 for rent. And on top of that, them rats. I ain't doing it. Like in the Bronx, you will have a shoe store, club, and restaurant all on the same blocks with apartments above. And that's why NYC has its own culture. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of those people who made up that infrastructure came from these immigrant communities where that's where the infrastructure was like. But if you live somewhere like Texas, we don't have any of that. America is built around car culture. Only certain cities are walkable. Yes. And when I was on my way back to Medellin, I got on a flight because I had a layover in El Salvador. So I got on a flight with somebody who actually lived in my neighborhood. Let me tell y'all how nice Colombian people are. I met this guy on the plane and he spoke English, which was very rare. So I already knew he came from a family. He either lived in the United States or he came from a family that was at least upper middle class in Colombia because it is expensive to learn English here. So he told me that he had his degree in architecture and urbanization. So he travels a lot for his work. So he had just left Miami. Anyway, he told me, hey, I live in Envigado, and I was like, I live there too. He was like, bet. Well, my friend is coming to pick me up. We will drop y'all off from he was like, I will tell him to drop you off and you'll pay less than what you would pay coming from the airport. Mind you, if I was to have taken a taxi from the airport, I would have paid 115 mil pesos. But because he told his friend to just drop me off after he dropped him off, he saved me a lot of money. I only paid like 20 mil pesos and he didn't have to do that. And the only reason why I paid his friends because it's like it's not his car, but you're still gonna save a lot of money. His friend didn't really make nothing up off of me, but what he spent on gas. But this man did not even know me, and he was like, "Let me hook you up, boo." Apparently the government wants to use, and he wasn't trying to holler at me either. That's another thing. He didn't do it trying to get my number. Like we didn't exchange numbers or anything. Apparently the government wants to use these 15-minute cities in conjunction with electric cars and cashless businesses to further be in people's business. That's just what I heard though. Oh no. Mm-mm. The US is great at making us believe they're doing us a favor. Yeah, that's trifling. And honestly and truly, we don't even have the infrastructure to support electric cars. Like that's crazy that in California they were trying to mandate that everybody have an electric car by 2030 when there's no infrastructure for it. Okay. Is the Bronx really as funky and dirty as people say? That's another thing. Now, I ain't gonna hold you. If you go up to Laureles, which a lot of immigrants, Americans go and they like to live in that area because it's close to the stadium where like Shakira was going to do a concert there. That's where they play all the football games or whatever. Okay. Up there that way, that part of Medellin, I done seen some rats, some big old New York rats up there. The area that I live in now is kind of like the suburbs, but it's still the city. It's weird. So this is considered a southern suburb, but it's not. I'm from Texas. I know what a suburb looks like. It's still just as walkable as a city, but very clean and very family and neighbor oriented. Okay. Which is another part I'm going to go to, guys. In the United States, people hate children. They just do. And you don't realize that people hate children until you come to a country where people actually really love children. Let me explain. Here in Medellin, there are parks everywhere for kids. If you go to the mall, in the center of all of the malls, that space is dedicated for an activity for children to do. So you'll see all kind of stuff. Like during Christmas, they had a big old Santa Claus house, or they'll have big old slides and foam kits. You can go to a nice sit down restaurant here and they will have a play area for the kids at an upscale restaurant, like this is McDonald's or something. I took my daughter to one of the best steakhouses in El Poblado last week, and not only did they have a play area, they had llamas there for the kids to feed. This city is designed with children in mind. It's designed to support people who want to have families. Girl, the Bronx is like a whole other planet. It's the Florida of NYC. Okay, okay. I see. Yeah, like here, if people see you struggling with your children, they will help you. They don't even have to know you. They will help you. They will stop and help your kids tie their shoes. If they see that you have a little baby and you're struggling to carry groceries, people, men and women, will stop what they are doing and they will help you. If they see your kid crying and having a fit, they will help you. You're not treated like you're inconveniencing everybody else around because you have a kid. And I think this is part of the reason why in the United States you have this no kid movement. We don't even have a society that supports the next up and coming generation. First of all, the education is trash. Second, it's very difficult to live your life in the United States if you have a kid and you don't have family, which most people don't have a family support system because our elderly have to work. Here, the elderly people live with their kids. So guess what they doing? They babysitting. They babysitting, they helping cook, they helping clean. Another thing is that here it is normal for people who are middle class or even lower middle class, heck, some people who are considered poverty, to have help, to be able to hire somebody to come clean the house or have a niñera. Everybody has a nanny for their kids. And when I tell people that in the United States, only rich people have nannies, the Colombian people are completely floored. They're like, "What? What? That is normal. That is regular shit for people to have a nanny. What you mean y'all don't have nannies?" Like when I explain to them what the day-to-day looks like over there, they be like, "Oh hell no." I can't tell y'all how many Colombians that I met who were like, "Yeah, I went to the United States for like 3 years and then I had to come back because." No, that ain't what that is. That ain't what it was. Struggle. It was lonely, right? I'm telling y'all, we got it worse than what we think we do. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm missing all these comments. In most Florida cities, you have to have a car. Public transportation isn't good here and it's spread out. And riding around in the car all the time contributes to weight gain. It contributes to weight gain. It contributes to muscle apathy. It contributes to weak veins, poor circulation, especially when you live somewhere where there is a lot of traffic. I walk every day here. Okay? I walk every day. I didn't even see your comment about Florida in the Bronx. Hey, Olivia, good to see you, sis. It's been a minute. Y'all hit that like button as y'all are coming in. Girl, you're not lying. Laureles is dirty. It's dirty and it stink. A lot of the immigrants here, they be like, why don't you move to Laureles? There's more to do there. And I'm like, bro, it's funky. Y'all got rats over here. It's homeless people. It's like any major city in the United States, right? So I don't see why I would live over there when we can live over here to the south. And I don't see any of that. These are all middle class Colombians. They are very clean. The streets are well paved. The transportation here is nice, like, and not just that, anything that I could do in Laureles I can do here. They have everything. I most of the time I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Most days I never leave my barrio. Most days I never get into any form of transportation. I don't have to. You aren't lying about people hating. They hate children. Like, it's to the point where they expect children to just sit down, be still, don't touch nothing, don't breathe. When here in Colombia, they know it's already a given that kids don't sit still. So we going to have something for y'all to do at all times. We're going to have an enclosed play area at the restaurant, so while the adults are talking, y'all can go play and we don't got to worry about nothing. Hey, what up, Skinny? Good to see you, brother. Okay, I got my mod in the building. Yeah, we have unrealistic expectations for children. Mariah traded in fried chicken for tostones and black beans and rice. First of all, let me tell y'all this. Don't nobody fry chicken like Colombians. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Now, I'm critical of the food here. I've told y'all, Americans cook better than Colombian people. White Americans. Think of the whitest American. Think of the most cucumber mayonnaise sandwich white person. And I promise you, that white person cooks better than the average Colombian that lives in Medellin. Now, on the coast, they cook better. Okay. These people here, they don't believe in seasoning, they don't believe in spice. But one thing they can do, they be frying and seasoning the hell out that chicken. That chicken be seasoned and crispy to perfection. Okay. Mariah, please hit me up on IG when you get the chance so I can add you to my YouTube premium, girl. Okay. You know what? I might end up getting one. I'm trying not to, but I appreciate the offer. But I just so I don't get on your nerves, I might take you up on that. I'm so tired of these subscriptions. We can't be having ads or smoke detector going off while we watching videos with you on live, girl. You inspiring me up. Thank you. Yes, y'all follow me on TikTok. On my TikTok channel, that's where I talk more about my like travels or my actual experience. Here, y'all know we do social commentary, politics. I talk about a lot of stuff on here. LOL, is it that bad? Does it just need seasoning? Okay, the quality of the ingredients is good, but like y'all, you have to come here and see. You have to come here and see. And like Colombian people get really upset. Like they feel like they have the best food in the world. Period. You can't tell them nothing. If you tell a Colombian person that Mexicans cook better than them, you will see their soul leave their chest. Okay? They will look at you with such hate, like, and then they will go to bat trying to defend it. And the majority of them, like over 60%, have never even been out the country. So they don't even have nothing to compare it to. But they gonna swear up and down that they got the best food in the world, and you just gotta let them have it. You gotta let them have it. You gotta let them have it, baby, because no, they do not be seasoning their food over here. I'm sorry, they don't. But the quality of the ingredients is good, and it's crazy because they got a lot to work with. Y'all gotta understand, in the United States, there was so much immigration, and that's the beautiful thing about living in a country of immigrants. We were able to share ideas, like we were able to assimilate. We were able to what is that called? I guess appropriate each other's culture. You know, like people could say that's a bad thing, but once you leave the United States, you see that in certain areas it was a really amazing thing. The food in the United States is great, right? Here in Colombia, they are very new to immigration. They just started getting immigration within the last 10 years, right? So, a lot of this food is like survival food. You know, this is food that's supposed to fill you up for the day. They weren't making food for it to be this upscale cuisine, or it wasn't made to be super palatable. I heard the food in Cuba also ain't hitting on. I never had a Cuban meal that I like. I'm sorry. And I used to work with Cuban women. Maybe it was because I always taste the food of the white Cubans, but it was nasty. And they don't be that's one thing I don't like about Cuba and South America and Puerto Rico too. Though Puerto Rico has very good food. I ain't gonna hold you. You can go to any restaurant in San Juan and get good food. You don't nobody has to recommend you anything. It's good everywhere, right? But I don't like the way that they do their plantains. So Jamaicans and St. Thomians like black, like and yes, okay, let me say this. Caribbean people who speak English, let me say this. They know to wait until that plantain is super ripe, almost rotten, uh, before they fry it, because then it's sweet. These people be getting these green, unripe plantains and frying them, and they don't have any flavor. It be nasty. Mexican food is so bomb though. It's so good. I honestly it's top tier. I will put Mexican food probably out of all the cuisine that I've had, and I've had cuisine from all different type of cultures. Mexican food, especially if we're talking about authentic Mexican food, because people like to make fun of, like in Colombia, if you say Mexican food is better than their food, they're like, well, all they eat is tacos. And I'm like, bruh, you ain't had any pozole, you ain't had menudo. Like, you are not for real eating Mexican food. Like, Mariah talk about the regulations on food in the US compared to Colombia. I can. As a matter of fact, I could show y'all something. Hold on, give me a second. Look, I be trying not to. Hold on, give me a second. Y'all stay here. I'll be right back. I'll show y'all some things. Hold on. Y'all done brought the whole grocery store, but let me show y'all this. Okay, so first of all, in in Colombia, a lot of the food is put in bags like this. So you can get ketchup in bags, mayonnaise in bags, and things like that. So at first I didn't understand, but actually, this keeps the food a lot fresher because there's less opportunity for air to get into there, like with a jar. So this is guacamole. And my friend gave this to me, and he actually bought this from a guy who makes it on the street and fills the bags up in the street and seals it. And it has the expiration date right here. But this has a warning on it. I don't know if y'all can see the warning. Okay. It says exceso en sodio, meaning there's a lot of salt in this. But in this was not made in some type of plant or anything like that. He literally made it on the street. He has to put a warning on here because he puts a lot of salt in here to preserve it. But all this has in here, guys, is avocado, lime, onion, cilantro, and salt. That's it. There are no preservatives in this, right? But even though there are no preservatives in this, he still has to make sure all his bags have a warning label about the salt. And it's not just with salt. If there are any type of, if it says sugar free, but there are um added sweeteners, there has to be a warning on the label that says added sweeteners. If is too much sugar, there has to be a warning on the labels that says there's too much sugar. So y'all will see certain things that have like 3 warning labels on it. Right? So that's a major thing. And again, I just told y'all the ingredients of it. This is not bad at all, right? If you go try to buy guacamole that is like pre-packaged from the United States, they're going to have like so many other chemicals listed in there. Um Same thing with this mayonnaise, okay? This mayonnaise says it's has an excess of salts and excess of saturated fats. So y'all see this? This has 2 warnings on it. Uh daughter's cereal, she likes to eat those cocoa rice krispies, the chocolate one. You notice the difference between the taste and the color. So the color of the rice krispies are not as brown as the ones in the United States, and they don't have as much sugar. They taste completely different. All the cereal here that the kids eat has way less sugar. Prime example, British food looks disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, like this is like the British food. That's a great comparison. So Colombia, it has like the British food of Latin America. Yes, I think so. But if you tell them that to their face, they will say that we think their food is nasty because we are not used to eating real food. When no, now, yes, our food has a lot of chemicals, but American people just cook very well. We know how to use seasonings. The quality of the ingredients is better, but I have yet to be wowed by any place here. Are you here in Colombia, Sheba? Cuban food in the States is better, but in actual Cuba, they have a huge food shortage. So it's not good there. And if the Cuban food I had in the States is supposed to be better than what's in Cuba, then that food in Cuba must be nasty. Cause I'm sorry, I never had any good Cuban food. But to be fair, I'm from Texas and we have Cubans there, but not like in Miami. Maybe if I go to Miami, I will find good Cuban food. Puerto Rican food is my favorite. Man, let me tell you something. We cousins with them, baby. Puerto Rican people season their food and butter that food down like black people. Okay. That's why they cohabitate well in New York. It's the same culture, dang near. Okay. I love platanos and I love pernil and arroz con gandules. I live in Miami and the Cuban food here is good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to Miami because baby, it ain't hitting for nothing in Dallas. It's nasty. Okay. I'm going to Jamaica in August. I can't wait to leave the States. Man, that food in you gonna be big as a house. Skinny boy. You're not gonna be skinny no more. That food in Jamaica so dang good. I love the food in Brazil. I want to go to Brazil. To be honest, the only reason why I haven't went is because I have to get a yellow fever vaccination. So if I go to Brazil, I don't have to get vaccinated. But to come back into Colombia, they will not let you back into Colombia if you have not gotten a yellow fever vaccination before you come back. So it's that. I don't know if I want to do that. And then on top of that, I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, no offense if I have any Brazilian subscribers, but I don't like to hear Portuguese. It's like it's like French Spanish, and I don't really like to hear French either. But maduros are great. Okay. Maduros are the ripe plantains. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. I don't want that. I don't want no plantains that are not ripe. They don't have seasoning. What is the point? Y'all like what is the point? The only time I see it being good to eat it like that is like the Puerto Rican people make monfongo, but they're like when they fill it with other spices and seasoning and meat and shrimp and stuff, it makes it taste better. But to just eat it like that, oh baby, no. Okay. Oh wow, that makes sense. I didn't know that was the reason why they did that. Fresh. The average ingredient list in America is a paragraph long. Like facts. Let me look at this ingredient list for this mayonnaise. Where is the dang ingredients list? Is it that small? Hold on. Hell, how do you make? Here we go. Agua, aceite, vegetales, al natural. Okay, this seems like a pretty long ingredients list, But I don't see anything crazy in here. Like most of it looks like it's like natural, you know? Probably has less artificial dye too. Yeah, yeah. The food here doesn't have the same amount of coloration as the food in the United States. That store bought guacamole be so nasty. This right here, good. I ain't even gonna hold you. It's a tiny bit salty, but he has to make it salty because he doesn't put any other preservatives in this. And again, this man is making it and bagging it on the street. America just banned Red 40. It should have been banned decades ago. Baby, I'm very interested to see what RFK is going to do. Again, guys, if y'all are just now coming in, hit the like button. I'm glad to see y'all here. Colombians are prideful just like Jamaica. Man, but like Jamaicans have a reason to be prideful. Like, okay, let me not say that. I don't want to say it like that because actually Colombia is a very beautiful country. The people here are very kind. They have a wonderful culture, right? There are so many amazing things that they do have a reason to be proud of. The food is not one of them. The food, they should never talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they should leave that part out so that they can be great, so that people can focus on the other amazing qualities of Colombia. Jamaica and Jamaicans have a right to be prideful about their food because it's bussin'. Okay. Yes, they judge us Americans for our taste. They think we over season too much. Right. And they feel like the reason why we over season is because the meat and the food doesn't have taste. That is not true. The reason why we over season, if you want to call it that, is because we have been influenced by so many other cultures that work with different herbs and spices. That is why we over season. Okay. They will lose their mind if they ate some Indian food, if they think Americans over season, or some Ethiopian food. That food be seasoned down. Yeah, girl. I am in Colombia. I have been here a month so far. I'm already homesick. Girl, you should well now I'm back, girl. We're gonna have to link. What part are you in? What made you move to Colombia, Shiva? Where are you from? Are you visiting or did you move here? OMG, you would love Brazil. I'm so obsessed with Rio. I was just there for New Year's. I heard the men is fine. I heard the men in Brazil fine. Let me tell y'all something. Colombian men, for my type, I don't see my type often, but it is some fine Colombian men. But let me tell y'all something about this part of the world. Not that I don't even did nothing yet. Okay. You'll see it when you go to the gym and you see them prints, baby. It's something in the water over here. That's all I'm gonna say. This is not normal. This is not normal. Whatever going on over here, it's not normal. Okay. I'm from NYC. I just came down to work remotely in Colombia for 2 months. Girl, we gonna have to link up. That sounds exciting, Sheba. I was in Brazil earlier this year, so I have just been traveling around South America. Yes, I'm here for it. I just subbed to Sheba. Thanks, Skinny. Yeah, I didn't even know you had a channel. Yeah. No, I didn't know you have a channel. I'm subscribed to your channel because I remember yeah, I didn't know you have a channel. Okay, Sheba, we're gonna have to link, girl. I'm already subscribed to your channel because I watched a video that you did. I've commented on. I watched a few of your videos. Why am I just now putting two and two together that you are the same person that comes in comments in my comments during my lives? That's crazy. I'm gonna do a food blog, but if y'all follow me on TikTok, I put a couple of different food items. There is some good food here. Like you can find good local food here. You just have to kiss a whole bunch of frogs before you get to a good spot. Honestly, anywhere where there's like black When I say black, I mean they Afro, like dark skinned Colombians. Anywhere where they're in the kitchen cooking, the food do be good. I ain't gonna hold you. Some lime juice will help cut through the saltiness. It's funny that we're talking about Colombia. I'm watching Narcos again. Y'all know I live in the neighborhood that, well, not the exact barrio, but Envigado, like that is the department where Pablo Escobar's family is from. Y'all remember at the end of Narcos when he was hiding in that neighborhood? That's this area right here. As a matter of fact, a lot of the narco traffickers here in Colombia, their family is from this area. That's part of the reason why this area is well maintained and there's not as much crime here as in other areas. People don't come here to just rob random folks, you know, not the same way they do in Laureles. And during Christmas, this is the most well decorated part of Colombia. They go all out. So yeah, a lot of those narco traffickers come from middle class, upper middle class families. They're not coming out of the trenches. I'm talking about the real bosses. I'm not talking about no little footmen. OMG, yes. She should do a food vlog. Would love to see how to make good food here or find good food here. Okay, so what are you talking about, girl? Like, we gonna have to make plans. You here? Come outside. Jamaicans do have outstanding food. Customer service be trash as hell, but I don't be caring. Yeah, the customer service be bad. I need, like, okay, Jamaicans got bad customer service, and they cousins, the Ethiopians, I'm gonna call them they cousins because they act alike. The Ethiopians got bad service too. But in both cases, the food is gonna bust, so you don't care. They say that the ruder the Jamaicans, the more bomb the food be. Yeah, they don't play. They don't play about their food. I believe that. I'm fine too, Mariah. I'm a Florida six. Okay. Look, I heard about y'all Florida boys. I done seen some stuff. Y'all be jumping in the water with gators and stuff. Okay. Fine, but crazy. Absolutely to both of your comments, Shiva. Yes. Where you at, Sheba girl? Hold on. I'm serious about Lincoln. You think I'm playing. I'm be on your ass. Yeah, you are subbed. I did a reaction to your video a few months ago. Girl, why am I just now putting it together that you're the same person? And I've watched your videos and liked them since then. Why am I just now putting it together that you were the same person? I had some fun with the fine Colombian poppy for the entirety of this past weekend. 10 out of 10. Do recommend, y'all. And if you come to Medellin, bruh, the way these paisas talk, boy, they accent, y'all, it's so like, it's so deep, like it's so masculine, like they slang. Oh my God. Like, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. You and Mariah need to do some story times about the Colombian men. Okay, but here's the thing, Cha Cha. I don't have like, I don't got a good juicy story time because I haven't. I honestly and truly put it on everything. I have not. I have, outside of like talking and dating, like just seeing. I have not done anything with a Colombian man. My problem is this: like, I gotta be able to justify doing something with you. So what'll happen is it'll be going cool, but then they do something to piss me off, and then I'm like, bruh, I can't even give you none. Like, and I be mad too. That's the thing. I be mad too, y'all, because if I told y'all how long it's been, y'all jaw would drop. Like, and it's not on purpose. I did not take no vow of celibacy. Like, this is low key torture. You feel me? Pablo was hiding in a rundown apartment. All that money didn't pay off. And walking on roofs and stuff. I'm in Berlin right now. Oh, you're not far, but I'm going to be staying in Los Colores next. That is the last neighborhood I will be in before I leave at the end of March. Girl, what's up? I'm gonna come up there. I gotta come that way anyway because I gotta put my daughter in gymnastics. Sheba, my Instagram is in my description box. It's Mariah Sincere. Send me Follow me and I'll follow you back so that we can get it together. I told you months ago not to vote for. Hey, what's up, T with Lilith? I ain't seen you in a minute. I was like, did I piss my girl off? Cause she ain't been here. Now you're saying you're not coming back to the US. Don't blame you, but you heard me now. No, it ain't even about Trump. Honestly and truly, Lilith, I feel like if there was anybody that's gonna turn that situation around over there, it's gonna be him. I left during the Biden administration. So all the issues that have, I had those during the Biden administration. It's just coming back to the United States after living in Colombia magnified those things, right? Because being over here and experiencing the culture made me see, like, on a cultural level, how much of a deficit the United States is in at a soul level, like at a people to people level, you know? But it honestly and truly, a lot of the stuff that I a lot of the stuff that take issue with, I don't think politics can fix it. Politics might be able to do something about the economic situation. But, like, for example, here in Colombia, people have smartphones, they have cell phones just like us. They got iPhones, they got Motorola's, they got every kind of cell phone. Everybody has a cell phone, okay? But for whatever reason, it doesn't have the same effect on their psyche as it does to the American people. They will go to a party and they might take some pictures, but they don't record as much as we do. I will say that. They know how to put it down and dance. If you go to a party in Colombia and somebody records it and uploads it, I promise you, whatever they uploaded was not the best moments. The best moments here are not caught on camera. People still dance and laugh and talk to each other and party until 3 in the morning and drink and get together, and they're about family and a good time. And they have laptops, they have cell phones, they got everything we got. And for whatever reason, culturally, it has not had the same effect on them as it has us. And I wonder why. I really do. I'm very curious. Hope life is good for you, lady. Thank you. And I'm glad to see you back, sis. I hope everything's going great for you too. Yeah, I definitely get the vibe that the men here are really masculine, girl. Oh, they're masculine to, like, it's I'm about to, like, so I got one that I'm thinking about cutting off because it's like they're masculine to a degree that we're not used to in the United States, and I'm trying to figure out, is it you or is it me? These men here in Medellin specifically. Now, on the coast, I heard the men that live on the coast don't like to work. Okay, that's a whole nother conversation for another time. These men here are very machista. They don't like the idea of you making more money than them, and they gonna make sure that they outworking you. Period. They not coming around you and they not coming up in your face if they don't have no money. And it gets to the point where if you're trying to date them, they work so much that it'd be like, okay, y'all barely really got time to date. Mariah ain't had no Colombian platano. No, I really haven't. I haven't. I done seen some things now. I ain't had none. I really have not. I love when they don't talk their way out of the cat. They just sit there and look good, please. Yeah. Oh yeah. They don't talk. Yeah. Yeah. They they very masculine. They don't. Okay. This is how you know the masculine good men in Colombia versus the one that's just there to bullshit you. It's it's far more easier to tell that here in Colombia because you really only got a couple few types. The ones that are really that have good intentions, they don't do all that talking. They do more listening and they work a lot. They work a lot. And another thing, they not going to sit up here and be all that, really quick. They're not quick to be telling you, "Oh, you're the love of my life" and stuff like that. The the Colombian men who were doing all that, you're the love of my life and whoop de whoop, right when they meet you, like within the first week, those are the ones that aren't shit. But it's really easy to differentiate the two, in my opinion. the U the US is cell phone central. Yeah. Yeah. Like in other countries they got a cell phone, but they don't make it the center of their world. Mariah, did you hear about the girl who took her life due to her bullies threatening to call ICE on her family? So sad. I heard about that. That is sad. I have mixed feelings about that cuz y'all know I used to work in school. So I actually worked in a school where they bullied a girl so bad. Kinda it wasn't the same situation, but it was a school full of like 97% of the kids were Hispanic. And the kids, these were other Hispanic kids, bullied this girl so bad that she took her own life. And people were telling the principal that it was going on, but they covered it up. Um, I feel bad about that. I think it's really sad. I think it's really disheartening. um, I think those kids were wrong. Hopefully they feel bad about it. With this generation, probably not. I'm just being honest. Like it's a whole bunch of little demonic children running around. With that said, I still support Tom Homan and everything that's going on with that. I do. But I hate that that baby took her life, right? That was such a it's better to be alive with your family than than something so permanent like that to happen. But kids are mean, y'all. And if they didn't like that girl, if it wasn't that situation that they were bullying her over, they were gonna find something else to bully her over. Unfortunately. One thing I will say I like is that the men dance with women here. They do. They don't and they have a great time. I don't see that anymore back home. Men just stand around in clubs with their friends. Well, and then one thing about it here is that the dance style, the salsa, the bachata, like it promotes dancing that doesn't feel okay. I'll say this too. Women, we've kind of become kind of like, don't touch me. Cause I remember when I was coming up in high school, we used to when we used to be at them parties, we used to roll them dudes up. They used to come behind you. Even when I was 18, I remember going to the club at Kendall's, baby, and we used to dance. But then I think women just got so self-conscious because then you started getting called a hoe and stuff like that just for dancing. Just for dancing. It's not like that in the Caribbean. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like if you go to dance hall parties and things, people dance without having to worry about being slut shamed. So you had that element, you got men not you got women not wanting to be called hoes just for dancing, and you got men who don't want to be accused of assault, and people are just socially awkward. Versus here, because the dance style, it is sexy and sensual, but it's not as raunchy as what we used to do in the States. I think there's less of that risk of being accused of harassment. The clubs is unalived in the US for sure. It's so unalive. Nightlife scene is over and done for and say boring. Like people be in there with boring personalities. They don't know how to have fun. They don't know how to talk to people. People just go to the club now in the United States to stunt. People go to the club to put on a biggest chain, get a section, stand on the seats in a section, pop bottles, okay, show off they BBLs. Like ain't nothing wrong with the BBL. Ain't nothing wrong with none of that. The chains, the BBLs, but it's to the point where that's all it's about. It's not actually about socializing. Oh, Chacha, I didn't hear that story. That sounds terrible. Yeah, it is sad. It's terrible. LOL, I'm so happy for you. Hey, blessed and highly favored. I hope you can find Colombian and marriage. I would get married to a Colombian here. First of all, let me say this. I want to stay here. but I don't want to have to work here for 5. I can. I have my certification. If I want to go work and teach English here in a school for 5 years, I can get my citizenship. I don't want to I don't want to work for pesos. I'm just being honest. If I have to, I will. But I have options. So I'm about to apply for my nomad visa. So you can get a nomad visa for like a year to 3 years. And then if that runs out, I can just go up enroll in English classes in a university and take English classes. So there are ways to be able to stay here. There are people who have investor visas, they buy properties, but me, it looks like my path to being able to stay here long term would be to get married, but I don't want to marry somebody that I'm not actually like willing to be in a real relationship with. Like I wouldn't get married just for a visa, if that makes sense. It is very sad that she did that. Immigration needs to be controlled. It does. I mean, even here in Colombia, there's controlled immigration. There are Americans who are here illegally. And how they do it is they will come here and overstay their visa. Most of them who are here illegally, though, at some point, they do plan to go back to the United States. And then what happens is when they go to the airport, the Colombian immigration will make them pay a fine. Sometimes they might make them pay a fine and say, you can't come back for X amount of years. It just really depends on how long they overstayed their visa, right? If you just overstayed your visa by a couple of months, most of the time they just make you pay some sort of fine, right? With that said, I do know of an American that was here who overstayed his visa by a few months, and he went to the airport to catch his flight back to the United States, and he thought he was just going to pay a fine and get on the plane. And the immigration officers was on one that day and told him, no, we're not going to let you pay the fine. You have to go through the deportation process. So he couldn't get on his flight. He had to go through deportation, which once you get a deportation on your passport, that puts you at risk of not being accepted into entry for other countries because they think that you're going to overstay. So I would not recommend that. Yeah, dancing outside the US doesn't feel raunchy. I don't mind it. Yeah. It's more like art. Are there any other parts of South America you would consider, or is Colombia the main place you see yourself staying in? In South America, I wouldn't girl no. Maybe Argentina. Maybe Argentina. One reason why I like Colombia is because I like the Spanish here, and also I can blend in. I feel like this is the country that I can blend in the most. Outside of Brazil, I think I probably blend in there too, aesthetically wise. But I don't want to learn how to speak Portuguese. And in some of these other countries like Uruguay and Paraguay, like I don't think I'll ever be able to understand. They speak a different kind of Spanish, especially like in Uruguay. They have like they speak the native language and Spanish. Like there's different dialects, you know? So like I don't want to go somewhere and I don't understand what the hell they saying. I probably would blend in Brazil. I just don't like Portuguese, girl. And I don't want to, girl. I tried to like, I caught myself trying to learn a little bit. And I was like, oh, baby doll, what is this thing y'all do with y'all throat? All these different sounds. To me, Spanish is very easy to learn. Like, it's very simple. Like, even if you go somewhere like, so I learned how to speak Spanish because I grew up with Mexicans. So I started learning how to speak Spanish young when I was like 10, right? I went to a bilingual school when I was in sixth grade. Like I worked a job, even in my entire adult life, I've always worked a job where I had to work with Hispanic people and a lot of them did not speak English, right? So like coming from there where the primary dialects come from Mexico to Colombia, that was already a really big transition for me because they have different pronunciation and different slang. So for example, a Mexican person would say chicken like pollo, but Colombians say pollo, like with the J. Or, for example, Medellin, a Mexican person would say Medellin, right? Like, but they make the L's in their Spanish sounds like a J. It's really weird. Mariah, do you think you'll be covering the Diddy trial as it plays out? Yes, for sure. Or will you speak on it after the verdict? No, I'm gonna be getting on here talking about that every chance I get. I can't wait to hear your thoughts once the details in unknown dirt comes to the light. Oh baby, I can't wait either. I can't wait either. Oh, that's finna turn my channel up. Finna turn my channel up. But yeah, Sheba, would you consider permanently settling in any country in South America? I heard Costa Rica is nice, but I've heard the cost of living there has kind of exploded. Um, El Salvador, I've heard is very nice and very safe. The food is very good, but I'm not gonna lie. I just prefer the Colombian people. I prefer the Spanish. I prefer the aesthetic. I feel like I have more blendability here. Y'all, you will see. Like if you come to Colombia, there are all types of, you have mestizos, you have mulattoes, you have biracial people, you have white Colombians, you have really dark Afro Colombians, especially the coast closer that you get to the coast. So somebody like me don't stand out way too much. The only way that they know that I'm a foreigner is if they talk to me, and I will, and my Spanish is way different than theirs. So for example, I have a lot of Mexican words that I be saying. So if they say something and I didn't understand or I didn't hear them, I'll say like Monday, like that is the proper way that Mexicans will say, pardon me or like excuse me or something like that. Here in Colombia, they don't say that. Once I say that, they turn around and be like, "Where are you from?" Where you from? You sound they tell me I sound very Mexican here. Uh yes, I cannot wait for that trial. Yes, it's gonna be tea. It's gonna be tea. I wanna see if anybody else is gonna get charged because he didn't do all of this by himself. It's kind of like with that whole R. Kelly thing. It's like R. Kelly was the only one who went to jail, but all these people were around him helping him. So uh and not just that, how do you catch a conspiracy case with no co-conspirators? OMG, I want to go to El Salvador and Guatemala too. My friend who actually lives here with her husband, they have a really cool story. So she met him while they were living in Dubai, but he's from Italy. But they got married in Dubai. They had two twin boys and they stayed in Dubai and they saved and they worked there. I should ask them how they did that whole working situation. They worked in Dubai and they were able to save up a large amount of money over 4 years and they came to Colombia. So now they're here, but they said within the next year to 2 years they are going to be moving to Cambodia because she's Cambodian but she grew up in the United States. So, I'll be sad when she goes. Hold on. Give me a second. Guys, if y'all are just now coming in, please hit the like button. Girl, I don't think I blend in per se, but they definitely assume I speak Spanish until I just stare and blink a few times and they get it. And that's what I'm talking about, Sheba. Like, if you were to go somewhere, if you were to go to northern Mexico or even the central part of Mexico, even parts of the south, they will not assume that you're from there. You know what I'm saying? They did because Mexico outlawed slavery before any of these countries did, and a lot of their slavery was just delegated to the south. A lot of it was just delegated to them being a point of stop, a point of passage on their way to another country, right? So it was illegal. That was part of the reason why we had the Spanish and Texas war, because I'm sorry, the Mexican and Texas war, because the Mexican government did not want the settlers that were coming into what was Mexico at the time having slaves, but they still had slaves and wanted to do what they wanted to do. So because of that, you don't see a huge uh Afro Mexican population like that. Most of them are not mixed with African in the same way that you will see Colombians, right? Um, so that's why I would never want to live in Mexico or Central America. I need to live somewhere where there are people who look like me in abundance. So I don't feel like an outsider, you know? I actually thought about moving to Japan before I decided on Colombia. And one of the reasons why I didn't do that was because it's such a homogenous society that they will never, you'll always be an outsider there, as well as I knew it was going to be hard for me to date there because their families do not believe in interracial dating. They believe in dating Japanese people. So any man that was going to be available was probably going to either be really rebellious or low hanging fruit, and I want to date. Versus here in Colombia, you know, Latinos, they date who they want to date. Like they date who they want to date. If they like you, they dating you. They're used to mixing. Okay. As long as you can get along with the family, you good. Guys, if y'all are just now coming in, hit the like button. But no, actually, guys, at one point I thought Colombia was just gonna be a stepping stone on my way for me to like move to the islands. Cause I thought about either moving to Puerto Rico or the Virgin Islands. I really love the Virgin Islands, but the longer I stay here, the less of a stepping stone it seems like for me. Like the more I actually really do want to be here, you know? Sometimes you have to give, that's the thing about being an immigrant. You might not like a place at first. You got to give it time to grow on you, and you got to give yourself time to develop relationships and put yourself out there, because if you don't do that, it's going to suck. And like one thing I will say is if you want to immigrate to a new country, the infrastructure is already there for you to be able to make connections. Like there are so many Americans here. Like if you want to be tapped into the immigrant community, there are so many Americans here who have co-working spaces, who throw networking events, who throw language exchange events, who are out here conducting business in Colombia. For example, I be so irritated with my WhatsApp because they be blowing me up. I'm in a group chat for Medellin buy and sell group. There's a Medellin parents group. There's a world school group. So there's a school group. So and every week we get together and for the kids who are getting homeschooled, my daughter's getting homeschooled, and we do a weekly activity where they can see pretty much the same set of kids every single week and go on a field trip. So last week we went to Medellin, which is like a really nice jungle themed park, right? And the kids were able to play. There was a pond, there was a sand pit. There was like a little walk area where they could go view the birds. And this week, we're taking the children to the planetarium. Next month, we're going to take them to a farm where they learn how to milk cows and make cheese. So, whatever you want to do, there is the infrastructure for it. Let me see, what other group am I in? My daughter's playing soccer. So I'm gonna take her out of that and put her in gymnastics. There's a parents group for that. Anything you want to do, there's the infrastructure already there. It's just a matter of you putting yourself out there, you finding the Facebook groups and asking questions and getting connected with people. And the thing about a lot of American immigrants, they want to hang out with other Americans. So they have no problem meeting up with you. Me personally, though, I'll say the hardest part about connecting here is getting connected with locals, right? And you have to be careful because coming here as an American, you got to understand people already assume you're rich. They think we don't have poverty in the United States. They think that people in the United States don't struggle. I was talking to some young girls at the park, and she was telling me that they believe that in the United States we make more and we spend less. That everything is less expensive in the United States than Colombia. This is the mindset. And I had when I convert the dollar amount that we're spending in rent to Colombian pesos, their jaws drop. Then when I showed them what the minimum wage is compared to what people are spending on their monthly bills, they gasp. They gasp. Like people literally have no clue how the American economy works. They watch the movies and they assume that we have an abundance and overflowance of money and that we are just selfish, stingy people. I was on a TikTok live with Rolo today. Um, a Rolo is a person that's from Bogota, okay, and he was saying that he thinks that Americans are selfish and they don't want to share the wealth. And a part of the reason why he thought that is because what's going on with the immigration. And I had to explain to him, I had to first of all break down the cost of stuff. I had to explain to him there are poor people in the United States. And I had to tell him, according to Doge, we, not just Doge, foreign policy from previous administrations, we have been sending our tax dollars and spreading our wealth around the world. That's why people think American citizens have so much money because they see all this foreign aid that we give out and they assume we're living good. They assume we're living like the people in the movies. And I had to explain to him for for a very long time, the vast majority of Americans did not care about illegal immigration. Nobody cared. I'm not going to say nobody, but that was mostly just a hardcore Republican thing to care about illegal immigration. Until these past 4 years, Americans started seeing, oh, in New York, we're going hungry. The economy is bad, but yet you're giving illegal immigrants a, a $400, $500 a night hotels. They get cell phones, they're getting spending allowances, and they're getting food stamps. And if I apply for food stamps right now, I'm going to get declined. Did y'all see that mother whose two children froze to, they were unalived in the car because they were in the freezing cold? So once I broke it down to him like that, he was like, "No, that's not right. I understand why y'all are pissed off." You know why he changed his mind about that? Cuz they would never go for nothing like that here. In Colombia, if the government started giving US citizens financial assistance, baby, 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 no, that would never happen. That would never happen. Okay, we don't even got to talk about it. It would never happen. Guys, if y'all are just now coming in, please hit the like button. That's a good point. I don't think could ever live long term somewhere where people don't look like me. It would feel lonely. Yeah, you'd always feel like an outsider. Like dating would be hard. Then you got to even decide, are these dudes even my type? Like I'm open. Don't get me wrong, I'm open, but I'm open to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, baby. I need me a poppy or something. Like, wait, so you wouldn't live in DR, girl? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Okay, first of all, and this is not just me, there are actually some Dominicans that live here, and everybody says that the infrastructure there just isn't good. So you're on a hot island and they don't have good infrastructure and it's beautiful, but it's not like if you go actually live in the barrios, there's not much for the children to do there. Right? Not it's nowhere near what there is for kids to do in Medellin, especially here in Envigado, right? On top of that, girl, I'm not finna be playing with these Dominican men, baby. I would hate having a date in the Dominican Republic. I'm not finna be playing with them. Okay, and them island dudes, whether they speak Spanish or English, they be thrown off. Okay, and a Dominican man, he gonna have a family in New York, Miami, and the Dominican Republic. I ain't lying. Okay, I ain't got time. That's another reason why too I decided not to. I be looking at stuff like this. I be doing my research on stuff. Same reason why I would never move to Atlanta. So in the Dominican Republic, they have a huge like AIDS outbreak right now. Also in Brazil, the rate of HIV is high. Like it's very high. So when you're a single person that's dating, yes, you wrap it up, but eventually there's first of all, there's some things that is skin to skin contact, right? And then on top of that, like eventually you want to be able to be in a relationship with somebody where you don't have to worry about that. But if you got to be worried about like if it's too promiscuous and you got to be worried about all this cheating and other side families, side chicks and all that, like you got to worry about that anyway. You definitely don't want to have to be worried about that in a country where those really life-threatening illnesses are high, you know? That's all I'm saying. I be looking at all that stuff. Okay, with that said, guys, it's almost 10 o'clock. I've been on here talking for a long time. My throat hurt. Okay. It's like the throat goat. No, I'm just playing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to say that. Y'all hit the like button on your way out. I'm gonna come on at the same time tomorrow. So like look for me between 8 and 8:15 tomorrow night. And y'all let me know in the comment section or on Instagram, what y'all want me to talk about tomorrow. I'm gonna try to find my own topics, but if there's something that is particularly piquing your interest, you can let me know and I'll put it in the video. With that said, guys, it was really good talking to y'all. I hope y'all get some good rest and I will see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.